Merry meet and welcome to Witchy Wednesday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Boy, I've had so many technical difficulties and I think a lot of it is just me. I think it's just me. I had so much sleep last night. I thought I was coming down with something. I had a horrible headache, which I don't normally get. And so I went to bed really, really early and I slept till the normal time I wake up. And I feel wonderful today, but I think I'm just a little out of it. So I apologize for some of the stream issues. Although the one thing I think, well, I think it was my mic, but then again, now that I know that I'm being a little bit out of it, it probably wasn't me. I did a whole Virgo reading and there was no sound, and I didn't notice there was no sound. I didn't check. all of the wonderful moderators were like, there's no sound, and I wasn't looking. So I had to redo the whole thing. I redid my mic, though. I hope everybody can hear me okay. It seems like everything's coming through okay. Today, we are going to work on a Solomon Pentacle, just because I was sort of late getting myself together since I had to redo the Virgo reading. And but I'm kind of glad we're doing that. We're doing Solomon Pentacle number 7 in a waning moon version to release ourselves from any kind of restriction. So you can put yourself right into this operation today with me, and anything that you're feeling restricted about, any kind of anything that seems imprisoning you or restricting you, or like you just can't break free, that's what we're working on today. And we're doing it in a nice, easy way. We're just going to color it. Sometimes I'll print these out in a really light gray so that I can go over the Huber and everything. We're not even going to do that. We're going to just color today. And it's important when we do this stuff, let me just get a little closer. It's important when we do this stuff that we do it mindfully. So I may turn on a little music, but I do want to also comment a bit as we go as to what we're doing and why we're doing it. First of all, for this, I'm going to use as my main focus color that orange color. So here's my color wheel. And you can see that orange is here. And we can go about things very differently. I mean, it depends on how we want to work it. Let's turn this properly. So here's the color. Here's our orange. And I can see that if I wanted to, I could use these complementary colors down here, which is blue, violet, blue, and blue, green. And that makes it makes the orange really pop. Another thing I could do is I could use orange and then maybe use some of these other colors right next to it on either side of the color. And what that does is it highlights the main color, but it doesn't give it any contrast. What it does is it makes the whole thing sort of orangey. So I think since it's banishing, I'd like to give it some contrast. So we're going to use orange and then blue, green, blue, and blue, violet. So let's just do that. Now, let's also take a look. If you don't have this booklet, remember it's free. It's how to work the Solomon Pentacles. And let me find that page right here. Oops, I've got the wrong page. And we'll go through this pentacle together before we do it. Oh, I had this all set up, but of course it's not here anymore. That's just normal for today. We'll just go with it because I don't have this one memorized. And even if I did, I wouldn't I wouldn't trust my memory today. Okay, here we go. So it was believed to have the power to release one from prison, unlocking all locks and breaking all fetters that bind. It's used in modern spells to break free from any confining situation. So on the arms of the cross are inscribed the names of Hassan, angel of air, Ariel, angel of fire, Forloch, angel of earth, and Talihad, angel of water. Between the 4 arms of the cross are written the names of the 4 rulers of the elements: Ariel, Seraph, Tarshish, and Cherub. The verse that's the Psalm verse is from Psalm 116, verses 16 and 17. You have broken my bonds. I will offer you the sacrifice of thanksgiving and call upon the name of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. So that's the explanation of the actual pentacle. So that is helpful to know. And if we wanted to, we could have that those two verses, those two psalm verses in mind as we're working on that. You have broken my bonds. I will offer you the sacrifice of thanksgiving and call upon the name of Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. Okay, so let's just, in the very background, we'll have some music playing. And I won't make it too loud, and that way I can still talk when I need to. All right, so let's start out with some orange here. Let's get some orange on. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't get my... Let me get another piece of card, because otherwise I'm going to have orange all over. It's not too bad since this is black, but it's just not good practice. Plus, I like having that extra paper there just in case I need it for something else. Okay, but since I printed this out on a card, normally I will keep most of this for another pentacle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do any testing around the sides of it. So that's a decent orange. This orange is called yellow red 4. So any of those yellow reds, so the higher the number in these Copics, the darker within the same hue it is. So for instance, if I had yellow red 7, you see that? This is the same basic color, but it's darker version of the same color. So that's kind of cool to have those numbers because it helps us. Sometimes when we want to work faster, we can choose our colors more quickly. So let's see. I think what I will do is I'm going to start out with some orange. Let's do a light orange around the side here. Yellow red 0. Let's do, if I have yellow red 01. I'm not sure that I do. Oh, here's 0. Here 02. That's pretty light. So you can see it's the same exact hue, but much lighter. So I'm going to take this around the side here, and I'm just actually going to go right over the printing since it's nice and light. And I'm thinking, well, what is it that I'm trying to get free of? So you can think of what you're trying to get free of right now. Everybody's got something in this world. This world is very, very much about feeling fettered. Sometimes it's physical health symptoms that we have as our fetters. Sometimes it's financial things. Sometimes it's other people. Sometimes we feel stuck in a relationship or stuck in a job. And we're just going to break free today. And the wonderful thing about using this kind of magic is we're calling upon, in this case, we're calling upon the teaching angel, which is Michael. We don't have to work directly with any of those other angels named in the pentacle because Michael takes care of it all for us. So we are concentrating our minds on that Archangel Michael and asking that we be released. And why would Archangel Michael be interested in helping us be released? Because that's our right. That's our divine right to be free. And the archangels, as teaching angels, are the reason for their existence is to help us, is to teach us, not to do our bidding, not to be our errand runners or our servants, but to be our teachers, our guides, and help us to achieve the divine design of our lives. And so Michael rules the solar light. So this is asking for the divine design in place of whatever appears to be a problem for us. Okay, now let's take that blue-green, and I'm going to use that blue-green right in the center here of each of these circles. It's not going to really show up, but it's kind of nice to know it's there. And let's use, I think I'm going to use a very light blue. Let's do this blue. See, this is blue 00, so that's the lightest pure blue I have. I'm going to use that around here. I'm going to start with all of our light colors. As light as that is, it's not all that light, but it does, they do lighten up as they dry, so it might be lighter than we think. You can already see this is a little lighter than when I first put it down, that light orange. But that light orange isn't a 0, I think it's a 2, so it's, I think this blue is a little dark for being an 00 personally, but that's okay. Now, you don't have to use alcohol markers, obviously. We like using these on these streams just because they're so fast and they pop really brightly and you don't need lots of layers. Whereas if I was using colored pencils or crayons, I would have to take a lot longer because you build up those layers slowly over time. Just pressing hard with a crayon or a pencil doesn't give you the effect that you want. You build up layers slowly over time, and that just makes for a very long stream. So a lot of times I'll just use these alcohol markers when I start. All right, so there's that blue. Now let's do some more orange. I think, what was that? That was, here's an 04. I think for this 04, I think I'm gonna go like this. I'm just gonna start around here. And there's no wrong or right way to do it. As long as you're getting that color down on the paper, you're doing it right. You could color the whole thing orange and it would be just fine. You don't have to worry about it. Now I think what I'm gonna do with this, let me just give it a little bit more color here. I think what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to show you something if you decide to use these alcohol markers. For instance, let's see, this one was a 4. See how, I'm just going to do this to demonstrate. It's probably not the nicest look, but you see how this is sort of dark on top of that writing? I can take this 04, which is a lighter version of, I'm sorry, this 02, and I can start to bleach it out a little bit. I wonder if I have an 00 in here even. Oh, here's an O. Well, this is red 02. I didn't want that one. I wanted yellow red 02. Here we go. This may not be light enough to show you what I wanted to show you, because it ends up kind of bleaching this out a little bit. We're going to come back to this and see if it's working for us. It's a little dark. Thought I had a lighter one. Oh, it's red. Yellow, red. This one. Here's yellow, red, 00. So let's see if this shows you what we want it to do. See, let that. The problem with orange is a bit of a bully. And once you get that orange down there, there's no undoing it. So this is an 00. So that's the lightest of this particular hue. So I'm just showing you how I can kind of lighten some of that up. See there? A little lighter now. I don't like the effect that much, but I showed you what I wanted to show you. This is that blue. I'm interested. This is probably going to create like a brownish gray, but I do want to see. Because when we're using things all the way on the other side of the color wheel, they cancel each other out. And then you don't get, when you add those two colors together, you get like a brown or a gray, depending on the hues and the tones and the shades. So you can kind of see how that's turning gray. It's not really what we want, but I just wanted to show it to you. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Let's take this and give ourselves that nice outline that we wanted. I'm just going to do this on all four of these. I like to go one at a time though, because if you can catch these while they're kind of wet, you can do more with them. Where did my OO go? There it is. You can kind of use those lighter colors to get rid of some of those harsh edges too. Let's see if we stayed within the same thing, YRO. Here's a YRO 2. So I could make a little darker here if I wanted to. I like that idea. I kind of screwed this one up showing you all the different things, but that's okay. Orange is orange. Like this. I kind of like this effect here. Let's go with this more. And then I'll get a little darker again here. At the edges. Thinking about how doing this is creating freedom. Not so much worrying about whether this ends up looking pretty, although it's nice if it comes out real pretty, that's great. But what we're thinking about is that the colors and the shapes and all of this is focusing our minds on exactly what it is that we're looking for. So on this one, I can even start out with this. This is a nice way to work, is I'm going to start out with the light color first, and I'll just put it on the whole section. And then I can come back to this light color later to sort of smooth out the edges if I want to. And it's so light that I can color right over that writing, which is what I want. Otherwise it takes a long time. Or you have to go back over the writing. Okay, so that was the OO. This is still the wrong. Don't do that. Here's the O2. And I'm going to just give myself a little bit of a border here on the O2. Even kind of over this writing a little bit still. Okay, and then here's a darker one. This 04 that I can use on this border. I can even go a little darker if I want. And I'm one of those that don't always like to color in the lines, but that's me. You see how that gives us a little bit more texture there, which is kind of fun. Here's that 04, a little bit lighter, so I can make it a little smoother. And then the 02, if I wanted to go and lighten it up a little bit. And then here's that 00, which can lighten the whole thing up. And just keep it a little smoother. But remember, if you do that, remember it's going to bleach your color, so be careful. You don't want to necessarily go over all of it. Okay, one more, starting off with the 00. Color magic. Working with the colors of the primary planet, in this case orange, and then complementing those with other colors around the wheel depending on what our goal is. Somebody said, when you do Mikael talismans in orange, you sometimes use blue. Is that because of the sky? And it's not, but I do love that idea that the blue sky is a complementary color automatically for the orange. But I'm just using the color wheel. That's how I get my ideas of what I'm going to use. I'm just going off with this 02 a little bit here, and then I'll kind of bleach it all out again in the middle here. Okay. Alrighty, now let's do some, I like this teal. And let's start off with a lighter one. So this one is called Blue Green 1-8. Let's see if I've got a blue green one. Here's a blue green 1-1. That's fairly light. So we'll do this. And then here's the darker version of that, very dark. Blue green 1-5, why not? And then here's this 1-1 again. I can just kind of bleach out the center a tiny bit. There we go. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. All right, that's coming along. Now, where's our, here it is. So here we have our orange. So we've done some blue green and some blue. Now let's get some blue violet in there. Here's blue violet 00. And it looks like that. This is almost gone, but that's okay. I use this color a lot. I love this color. So I'm just going to use this on all of these. I think I have another pen of these somewhere. I've got to get a refill. I'm almost out of this color because I use it all the time. It's such a versatile color. You can use it for so many things. See how that little, just using just those three colors gives you just that sort of a little bit of a jewel effect in the center. It looks a little bit more sparkly alive. Something about having these colors come to life that just feels so magical to me. We're not spending a great deal of time on this today because we have more to do after we finish coloring it, but that was blue violet 00. I want blue violet something else. Here's 04. Here's 08. That should do it. Okay, so this is blue violet 04. It's pretty dark. I'm sure I have a 2 somewhere, but I don't see it here, so I'm not going to bother. We'll just use that 00 to sort of bleach it out a little bit in a second. Here's our actually this is 000, so it's even lighter. So I'm just gonna kind of lift a little bit of these edges up on that color I just put down. Give it that shaded effect. And then I think what I'll do, after I've lifted that a wee bit more, is go to this really dark blue violet 08 and just color the very outer edge of this, just to give it even more pop. Like that. Probably would have liked a little lighter in the center, but that's okay. Here's 000. Oh, I already did that. Here's the... I'm just going to do what I did on that one, but I do think I have a lighter version of this color somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Probably just was misfiled. It's usually the case with me. Okay, so I lay that down and then I just bleach it out a bit. And then I'll just go around it with this dark violet. Then you don't want to bleach this out too much because then you'll have to do it again, and you know. So once you get that dark there, unless there's some really hard edges like there are here, you can just take and just right on the edges only, so you don't have to recolor that dark again. Because then it becomes this never-ending process of bleaching and coloring and bleaching and coloring. Okay. You see how we've saved a bunch of time by printing it out in black and white rather than gray. We're not making it as much our own, but we don't have to spend as much time. So sometimes that's worth it. These are brushes at the end, so you just have to get used to working with brushes. They're like little paint brushes rather than normal pen nibs. Although you can find these alcohol markers with non-brush tips. I just really like the brush tips a lot. Oops. I've learned to love them. Okay. Oh, we still have this one. Okay. Stop talking so much, Ariel. Let's do a little bit more of that. Oops. Didn't want that. Okay. Oh, we could do a lot more, but let's not. I mean, there's so much more you could do, but this is good. We've got the basic colors down here. So let's go ahead and cut this out. And we'll continue to let it dry while we write our petition. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. I'm just going to take some regular writing paper, just regular paper, not card. And the script for Michael is Passing of the Rivers, which is a phonetic script. So for this petition, it's just banish all restriction. So I'm going to use an orange marker, just a regular felt tip pen, not an alcohol marker, because I want this permanent. So banish all restriction. Oh, before I do that, let's do this. Let's just make a little model of our talisman. Oops, of our talisman here. Oh, I didn't smear it good. And we're just going to say banish all restriction. Now we could do a whole petition here, but I just don't want to spend a lot of time. So you could do Dear Archangel Michael, blah, blah, blah. But we're just going to do keywords. Banish all restriction. Okay. And I think I'll put his sign here. I'll cut this one out. And this is just going to get pasted on the back. Because you see, we can't really write a petition on the back of that because the alcohol markers don't allow for that. That's okay. And you don't have to paste it. You can just set it on there if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and paste it. Just a glue stick. Thinking so clearly about the restriction that you want to be released from, start feeling release. Just feeling those bonds being lifted from you, just all the tingles in your body that you'll feel when you're completely free. Where's my glue stick? Oh, here it is. The top is here, right? Let's do it this way. The top is here. So I'm going to paste it right side up. Okay. Now I can trim this. Let's trim this a wee bit more. This is the petition not being cut perfectly. And I'm okay with a little white space, but you can, if you want to, just color that white space black. Sometimes I'll do that too, but I'm okay with this. Okay, there we go. Now, let's change from construction to consecration. So I'm going to put all these things to the side, put my markers away real quickly, and then we'll get our altar pentacle, a candle, and some perfume of Mikael. I'm just using orange blossom. There's all kinds of perfumes that you can use. If you look in all of the different courses that we offer, the free ones and the booklets, there's all kinds of correspondences listed. For instance, in the Witchcraft Beyond the Basics course, there's a lot of correspondences for each of the planets, this being the planet of the sun. You could also use the correspondences in the Basic Angel Magic course. Scott Cunningham has some good correspondences. There's correspondences all over the world. So if you don't like orange blossom, you could use frankincense, all kinds of stuff you could use. Okay, here's my altar pentacle. Let's just give this a little bit more viewing space. What did I just do with the pentacle? Pentacle! Where'd you go? There's that. There's that. Gotta be in here. What the heck did I do with the pencil I just made? Isn't that typical? So funny. can't believe me. What did I just do with that darn pentacle? Oh, I bet it's under here. No? Oh, here it is. It blended. It blended away. Okay, so what I've got here is some orange blossom perfume. I'm going to fragrance the other side of it, just so that you know, again, if you're using alcohol markers and you're using spray perfumes, alcohol is the solvent. So if you spray this, you're going to get a splatter effect, which sometimes we like. But today, I'm going to spray the back of it. It will not splatter this because this is not an alcohol-based marker. It's just a regular felt tip marker. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to be very fragrant. 1 would have been fine. And if you have an orange candle, you can use that. I just happen to have this one. And what we're going to do is just relax our bodies and our minds. We're going to feel the presence of the Archangel Michael, probably at the heart center. That's a good place to start feeling that. And just feel that benefic, benevolent source energy in your heart. And Michael comes through and is there for you to eliminate all those blocks, to free you, to unlock things, to open you up. It's not the will of the infinite for you to feel or to be in any way restricted or imprisoned. So Michael's here to help you and to unlock that, but only can do for us what he can do through us, or they can do through us, because Michael isn't necessarily a masculine presence. So we have to be willing to not only be freed, but to, because this is a teaching angel, to do as we're guided in order to find that freedom, in order to have that thing resolved. We have to be willing to, as we move about our lives, be guided by that force, that force. So it's either going to be Michael guiding you specifically or Michael guiding you through your own inner guide. Either way, you have to come from that point of view of asking each and every step of the way, where do I go? What do I do? How do I do it? And not thinking that you have all the answers, knowing that the answers are coming through you. So just sitting with that and being grateful. And you can recite those 2 verses of that psalm, or you can work the entire psalm if you want, or you can just do that in silence as we've done before as well. All right, so this is a wonderful tool, the Book of the Pentacles, that you can buy for free. You can download for free from our website. It's called How to Work the Solomon Pentacles, and just print them out and color them. Invoke using those scripts, invoke using your heart and your words, and just know that the teaching angels are there for you, in order for you to be free, in order for you to be happy, in order for you to be prosperous, to have love, health, whatever it is that is your divine right. The angels are there to help you get it, but they can only do for you what they can do through you. Thank you so much to the amazing moderators. I forgot to even mention them. Today we have, I'm sorry about that, moderators. Today we had the wonderful and lovely Diane on YouTube and the lovely and wonderful I Am Her Eminence on Twitch. And I really am grateful for each and every one of you for watching today and every day. We'll be back tomorrow with our 3rd lesson in Advancing Your Craft, the Advanced Witchcraft course in our trilogy of non-denominational witchcraft training. Thanks again for spending some time with me. I hope this was fun. Until next time, blessed be.